National Payments has prepared this presentation specifically for Marriott Starwood Properties in Canada. It is intended to provide a clear explanation of the 3 steps that properties can take to minimize card processing risk and optimize high security value. Starwood Properties across North America use Lightspeed as their property management system and the Elevon Fuse Box as their payment gateway. As the first step in moving Starwood Properties to a more secure card processing technology, Lightspeed is requesting that properties upgrade to the latest version of Simplify so that transactions can be tokenized. An integral part of this conversion is that merchants will now use the new ISC Touch 250 smart terminals to replace their current card swipers. These new terminals interface with Fusebox to facilitate tokenization. It is expected that this upgrade in Simplify will be made mandatory by Marriott Starwood Properties by March 31st of 2018. How important is tokenization? Historically, card payment transactions processed using magnetic swipe technology transmit card and cardholder data across the payment processing system. This data is therefore exposed to the rapidly growing risk of card fraud. Tokenization of this data through the Simplify upgrade converts the card data into a digital token so the data is no longer exposed to risk. By making this conversion to tokenization, merchants will also enjoy the added advantage of signature capture on the new smart terminals. But this still leaves a gap in the security chain. While using tokenization through Fusebox, Lightspeed, and Simplify is an important step in reducing card fraud, card bank organizations like Visa and MasterCard will still require the certified EMV chip and PIN process using PIN dip for merchants to avoid card fraud liability. When merchants move to the PIN dip process, they can close the door on current card fraud liability. While a simplified tokenization is a step above traditional encryption, by itself, it is not enough to meet this new high-end EMV standard or to obtain PCI certification. Even though the Simplify upgrade tokenizes the initial data as it's sent to Fusebox at the terminal when a card is swiped, it does not meet the PIN dip standard for transactions. So EMV chip and PIN with PIN dip remains the missing link in the security chain. End-to-end tokenization of EMV chip and PIN is known as the holy grail of PCI security and is an essential element in minimizing card fraud and card data theft. Getting to this level of card processing security requires that cards be authorized by the PIN dip rather than the magnetic swipe. The new smart terminals that are part of the Simplify upgrade are fully certified for this PIN dip integration with Fusebox and Lightspeed. But it still requires that your payment processing firm be certified for PIN enablement on this new terminal within Lightspeed. In Canada today, only one processor has received this PIN-enabled certification. Others are expected to follow in the latter part of 2018. Today, when a chip card is processed using magnetic swipe technology, with or without signature, card bank organizations will still hold merchants 100% responsible for any card fraud or chargebacks. So it's important to be aware that it is also not possible to obtain PCI certification unless you're using the PIN dip card technology. National Payments can provide Starwood Properties across Canada access to the only certified PIN dip processing technology integrated with Lightspeed today. How does signature capture compare with the EMV chip and PIN standard? The rule of thumb today is that whoever has the lowest level of security within the card fraud processing chain bears the responsibility for all card fraud transactions. Using EMV with PCI levels this playing field for Starwood Properties and minimizes risk. While the move to simplified tokenization with signature capture is a fundamentally sound step, tokenization with signature capture itself will not protect merchants from EMV card fraud liability. In fact, most card brands are now starting to phase out signature capture altogether. Visa has announced that it will join American Express, Discover, and MasterCard in the signature phase-out by April of 2018. MasterCard was the first one to do this in October 2017, followed by American Express and Discover in December of 2017. The cost-benefit of EMV chip technology has been a significant drop in card fraud. In fact, most merchants that accept EMV cards with PIN dip today report a 66% decline in fraud and chargebacks in the first 2 years of EMV deployment. So even with tokenization, it's possible to win the triple crown in card processing security. Since EMV chip and PIN technology improves security against fraud when compared to magnetic swipe, it should now be considered the minimum technology for hotels. For Canadian Starwood, switching to the EMV chip and PIN card processing technology not only provides a substantial reduction in card fraud exposure, it lays the important foundation for PCI certification. By obtaining PCI certification, hotels can substantially reduce their exposure to data theft. So it breaks down to 3 simple steps. Step 1 is to move to the simplified tokenization and the ISC Touch 250 smart terminals. Step 2 is to shift to the integrated EMV chip technology certified by Lightspeed. And step 3 is to obtain PCI certification. Let's talk about how you can finance the cost of this journey. It follows that as business risk is reduced, so should cost be reduced. While the move to tokenization with smart terminals is the first step in reducing risk, the big leap in risk reduction only occurs with the additional switch to the EMV PIN dip technology, enhanced by PCI certification. That is steps 2 and 3. After doing dozens of business case financial assessments for Starwood Properties in Canada, one thing is clear. By taking all 3 of these steps concurrently through national payments, the savings realized by the lower rates offered have financed the entire cost of reaching this holy grail of PCI security within the 3-year contract term. If you have already upgraded your simplified program and have the new terminals, the next step is to find the savings. Obviously, you found the internal budget to complete step 1. National payments can now help you complete steps 2 and 3. You can use the savings from these final 2 steps to finance all 3 steps and recover the investment you have already made in step 1 and eliminate fraud card liability and exposure. You can call us now for a free business case financial assessment in which we will detail both the costs and savings of taking these steps to high security. We will then complete step 2 on site at your place of business to ensure a smooth and seamless transition, and then provide your staff the training needed for PIN-enabled technology. Once you have completed the switch, we will work with you to obtain your PCI certification. National Payments has trained hospitality specialists available, and you can reach out to either Michael Strong or Wayne Cole to discuss the conversion and the opportunity for savings today.